Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We have Gab and Nedum joining us today. We've got Ale and Stevie here in the studio, and we've got quite a few questions to get through. So let's get started, shall we? If Amorim manages to beat Pep tomorrow, does that ease some of the early season pressure that he is inadequate to coach United, Nedum?
I think it definitely will ease some pressure, especially amongst the United fans as such. But I think for some people, you sort of like United got 4 points against City last season, but their season was still classed as being a disaster. So I think maybe the bigger issue will be if they slip up against another team that, maybe they're expected to win against. I think that's where our eyes have been across the last, say, year, 18 months as such. Not necessarily their ability to get up for those big games, like we saw against Arsenal, or like we saw against, say, Liverpool at Anfield last season. It's more so those games where they lose at home, games where they're losing to sides who they should never be losing to, should they have the aspirations that they do. So yeah, I think it buys some time, but realistically, that time isn't going to be as long as you'd hope for.
Another one for you on the Manchester derby, Nedum. Even though a draw is not a bad outcome for both clubs or a bad prediction, would it be disappointing if the Manchester derby ended that way?
I think it depends how the game goes, to be honest, because we've all seen different types of draws. We've seen those types of draws where like both teams are going for it and it's a fantastic game of football. Then you've seen City versus United at Old Trafford last season, which is one game that I have to apologise for even mentioning it as such. So yeah, I don't know. But also to mention the predictions, tell me something more Mark Ogden than saying 0-0 in a derby and saying both teams are going to be a disaster. What a dour approach to life. Try and enjoy yourself, my man. Try and offer some goals, offer something. So yeah, I don't think it'll be a draw, but yeah, if it is, blame Oggy.
Wait. Was anybody else expecting something different from Mark?
I know, I love miserable Mark. It's just the right fit, right?
That is who he is.
Yes.
He's being true to himself. If you are out there and you get the sense that Mark Ogden is dour, he is. He is. What you see is what you get.
Stevie, you've seen a lot of football. Have you ever seen depth in defence like Arsenal have now?
No, I don't think I have. Yeah, it's incredible.
You're jealous?
Ever?
Yes.
Because ever is a long time.
I absolutely am jealous. I wish Liverpool had as much depth at centre-back as Arsenal do. My goodness, yeah. I am jealous, yes. I don't mind admitting it.
I'll tell you what. Milan in the 90s, they had some depth in that back line. I'm going to suggest that maybe they're better than whatever Arsenal got going on in that back line right now. It says, have you ever? Ever is a long time.
Well, it's still true.
All right. Okay.
All right. Gab, is Juve-Inter the most competitive rivalry in the Serie A?
Well, I mean, historically, I think you can make the case. For a long time, these two teams had won the most Serie A titles. Obviously, then Milan won a bunch. And Milan, of course, have all those European Cups that they keep going on about. In fact, I think only Real Madrid have been champions of Europe more times than Milan. It is a rivalry. I think this whole Derby d'Italia thing is something that was kind of came about in the 70s and 80s when Juve got good again. Not that Juve were ever really bad, but I don't know. I still think when it comes to rivalry, for Inter, it's about Milan. It's about winning the derby in your town. For Juve, maybe they look down on Torino a little bit because they've been more successful over the years. So maybe for them, it's a little bit different. For me personally, look, I don't speak for all Italians. People may feel differently, but I don't like it when people say Derby d'Italia. I like it even less when they say Derby d'Italia because that makes no sense whatsoever. You pronounce it correctly, at least. But it just seems, I don't know, it seems slightly manufactured. Yeah, these are two very competitive teams, two big rivalries, but it just feels wrong to leave Milan out of the equation of Italy's big three teams, because it is a big three, it's not a big two.
Thank you. It's as if I married an Italian.
I know, as if,
It's as if I did.
I'm glad that you're able to get through that.
Grazie.
I think Gav thought you were clapping him there.
Stevie, Isak has to start tomorrow, right?
No. No. No, he's not ready to start. And look, if you don't have Ekitike, you could have been forced to start him, but there's absolutely no reason to start him. It wouldn't be a smart move to start him anyway. He's absolutely 100% not ready. Doesn't have enough in his legs yet. And Ekitike scoring goals as well. So no, absolutely 100% he won't start. I'll be shocked if he doesn't come on though.
Okay. Gab, how many goals for Hojlund this season at Napoli with Kevin De Bruyne and McTominay as suppliers?
Well, like I don't want to sound like one of those analytics guys, but the reality is, Hojlund's thing is he doesn't take a lot of shots. He has never taken a lot of shots. I think he's averaged, when he was at United, he averaged, I think, just over 1 shot per game. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out that, prolific strikers average a minimum of 2.5 a game. And he just doesn't shoot on goal much. So I don't think he's going to score much for Napoli, just as he didn't score that much for Atalanta when he was there. I don't think he's there to score goals. He's there to contribute in other ways. So in light of all that, and in light of the fact I think he's going to share playing time with Luka, and obviously Lukaku will return at some point, I'm going to say 10 goals.
10 goals. We should do the over or under.
Well, the over-under in which Gab says he's not an analytics guy, but then goes on to give us 17 different stats about the player.
All right.
Ali, you were a striker. You don't score. You don't score if you never shoot on goal. The guy never shoots on goal.
Finish the sentence.
That's all I'm saying.
I thought you were going to end it at you don't score. The pause was very long. It wasn't inaccurate, but...
All right, for the former players, I'll start with you, Ali, because it's from your personal chef.
Okay.
For away games, what did you usually do at the hotel or around the city the night before a game?
Well, usually you get into that city wherever you're going sometime around dinner time. You'll have a team meal. Some coaches like to do the video after that team meal. Others do it the day of the game. Team meal, then go back to your hotel room, sit around and either play cards or video games or watch a movie or... I mean, there isn't a whole lot that you can do. Then the next day it's a pain in the backside because you're laying around doing nothing. You do what some coaches like to do, the activation, the morning activation, in which you actually have to go for a walk somewhere and kind of break a sweat and a little stretch or something. Then you'll have a meal, a snack, and then after that you take off to the stadium and then play the game and hopefully go home after that.
Nedum, what were you doing night before a game in the hotel for the team?
Well, in England it was super boring, to be honest. I think in MLS there's a bit more nuance to that because sometimes you go maybe an extra day early and so on. But yeah, in England it's more a case if you get there in the evening, as Ali said, you've got food. And all I'll say from my side of things was in the sort of treatment room or the make-do treatment room, people just watching TV, they're watching Love Island, they're watching I'm a Celebrity, watching all X Factor, all these like silly TV programs that just waste time that you can all just casually watch together. And then yeah, just off to bed before then embarking on the longest day ever it feels like as you wake up in the morning. And if it's a nighttime game, my word, all you do is sit around and eat, stretch, have a video or two talking about tactics, eat, stretch, and then go and play a game of football. So yeah, it's a little bit on the boring side, to be honest.
And just because it says that it's my personal chef, what I would say about the meals when you are a player, I don't care what country these meals are. They're all the same. It's bland chicken, it's pasta, it's bland rice. None of it is inspiring. None of it is like, oh, well, here comes a great meal that we're all going to enjoy together. It's usually, the pre-game meal is the same everywhere, and it's not great.
You poor things.
Well, no, I'm not. I was asked a question by my personal chef. I was addressing my personal chef, and I was saying the pre-game meals are not that tasty.
Yeah, you didn't want to put too much spice on it just in case the next day, you know. Stevie, what about you?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Eating in bed.
Eat in bed.
Okay, thought so.
End of
All right. Nedum, how long does Potter have left at West Ham, and would Nuno get them out of the relegation zone?
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine Nuno going straight in like that? I think given the fact that the fans never really bought into Potter, it doesn't feel like he's got that long left. And if there was to be a change, I wouldn't be surprised if it came potentially in the next international break, unless they managed to get a couple of results and a couple of really good performances as well. Because I think the performance side of things is probably one of the biggest factors, not just the results themselves. So yeah, if Nuno's available as well, then his stock is actually quite high because he's losing his job at a point where most people say he probably didn't deserve to. And yeah, I could potentially see it, and it'd be a shame for Potter because I thought this time coming back to the Premier League, he'd probably make a better sort of fist of it, but unfortunately it's just not to be. So yeah, probably 4 weeks.
Gab?
Yeah, I'm shocked at how terrible Potter has been. But turning to Nuno makes very little sense to me. Partly because, well, not only because I don't like Nuno Espirito Santo at all. Well, he did do a fine job. No, it's just not my. There's good people.
Did he say did he tell you wrong?
He's in the latter category. But no, but Potter plays a certain brand of football, or tried to. Presumably, that team was built for Potter's brand of football. Nuno takes you in a totally different direction. So. Unless you're willing to make some serious adjustments in double quick time, and there isn't much time during the season to make those adjustments, or go and spend some, maybe with Uncle George's help if Nuno comes in January, I don't think Nuno would necessarily make sense. But yeah, if West Ham keep playing like this, it's hard to see Graham Potter hang on to his job.
Don't expect Gab and Jules meet Nuno anytime soon on your podcast feed.
No.
Last question for Ale. Which of these Latin American cities would you send each panel member to for vacation?
Okay.
Panama City, Lima, Santiago, and Medellin.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave Stevie last because finding a match for Stevie is going to be difficult.
I don't fancy any of them, actually.
Do you know where they are?
Actually, don't send me anywhere. I'll stay here.
I figure as much. If I imagine that you like ceviche, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to send you to Lima.
Okay.
Plus, you could extend that trip and go up to Machu Picchu. You like getting your steps in. There'll be plenty of steps to get up to Machu Picchu.
Thank you.
You can go to Lima. Gab, I'm gonna say Santiago. Yeah, I think Gab can go to Santiago. There's some areas in Santiago they have an Euro feel to it, and mind you, there are a lot of historic big rivalries in Chilean football that he can go and take in Santiago as well. He can go Colo-Colo against U de Chile, something like that. I think he would enjoy that as well. So there's an aspect to the football part of it that I think Gab and Jules would enjoy. So I'm going to send Gab to Santiago. Nedum is going to Medellin, baby.
Nedum.
He needs that flavor, and they need his flavor. Yeah. I tell you what, Nedum would be popular in Medellin. Nedum would be popular in Medellin, so I'm going to send Nedum to Medellin. And Stevie, I'm going to send to Panama City, Ciudad de Panama, because there is enough English being spoken in Ciudad de Panama where Stevie can at least defend himself a little bit. There's a lot of expats in Ciudad de Panama. So, and I think you could survive a little bit better. And best thing is, it's the shortest flight of all of them from here to there.
Unfortunately, I've lost my passport. Sorry.
You know
Can't go.
Oh, Stevie.
Can't go.
We tried.
Yes, I can only put the trip together. It's not my fault that people cannot find their passport.
And if I find it, I'm being late for the plane.
Oh boy, it's okay. That's not the spirit.
I haven't lost my passport. By the way. Just saying that.
You know what? Never mind.
Oh, really?
Hey, Nedum, once you enjoy yourself in Medellin, it's a really short trip from Medellin to Ciudad de Panama, baby. Oh, it's gonna be a good trip for you, Nedum.
Nice stuff. Nice, good question. Well thought out by Ale.
Okay.
Completely dismissed by Stevie Nicol.
Thank you, Stevie, for your participation.
I'm a culture vulture.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Make sure to join the team tomorrow to look back on the Manchester derby with Alexis and the crew.